Man, coughing as soon as the stream hits live. Cheers, everyone. TGIF on my side. I know on the UK side, it's probably Saturday morning, just about. 8 hours behind you lot. So when I stream at these hours in the UK, man, them still check in. It's love, it's respect, it's gratitude, it's all that there. Excuse me, and I greatly appreciate it. This early, I got plenty of daylight left. I could sit here and stream for 3 hours and still have time to go enjoy the Saturday evening, Saturday night, and the rest of the weekend. So I'm grateful. I use this disadvantage to my advantage, so to speak, being so far behind the UK. If I started doing content while I was in Germany, it would have been weird how this would have worked. Because on German time, I'm 1 hour ahead of the UK. I would have been right on schedule, but most of the big heavy hitters who stream, I see the heavy hitters are streaming right now. I think Leah's live. I see Aaron on a marathon. I think the legend that is DJB is still streaming. So I was gonna go and do my TGIF USA time chill vibes. Have a sip. Got some NBA, my Knicks in the background against the hated Miami Chiefs. And enjoy a good football chat or sports in general. I'm here for it. I saw some international football today. I saw the Germans dispatch of Luxembourg. That's pretty much the only game that I caught. I saw Poland and the Netherlands drew. Who knew? I see Timber playing center back. I see even the Germans are trying to force the ball to Vitz. Even the Germans feel sorry for Florian. Trying to shoehorn him and trying to make sure that he gets his GA, but it's just not happening for that guy, is it? It's just not. What are we gonna talk about? Bluebird is here as always, a silent listener. I'm gonna star this one. I'm definitely gonna star this one, and I'll come back to that one. Morning, everyone, says the assembled. Hope you're good, mate. Hey, good morning to you, Waha. So since most of the men them are in the UK, I could probably, it's probably more appropriate for me to play it. More than when I wake up and I'm saying good morning, it's more appropriate for me to say good morning to you lot. Good morning. Good morning to all of you legends and supporters of the channel. Greatly appreciated. Here because my daughter can't sleep and it's 1:31 a.m. Hey man, daughter can't sleep. They don't never know how to go to sleep, do they? Nothing. No one wants to hug you more than a child that should be in bed. My son, that boy. Hey bro, go to sleep. Nah, man wants to do everything other than go to sleep. Man want to dap me, want to help me do this, want to help me that. Just go the fuck to sleep. Samuel L. Jackson actually has a poem called "Go to Sleep," written, and he narrates it as well. You can find that on YouTube. I think he was one of those ebooks, funny as hell, highlighting all the stuff that kids do when it's time for them to go to bed. Even when their parents want to get together for some happy time, all of a sudden, that man and they're wide awake. Kids are the biggest cop blockers in the world. Wahaha is the case of the insomnia, football insomnia. And there's no football and you can't sleep, Yeah, it's one of the worst things. Damn, man, a little flu trying to get you. Feel like shit. Is it one of them ones that you can just go to the gym and sweat out? Go hit the treadmill, wear like your sweatsuit, hit the treadmill, or go sit in the sauna for 30 minutes, come out feeling better, get you some lemon and some honey. Drink some Buckley's. Tastes nasty going down, pause, but it's actually good for you. One of them ones. But our brother Wahaha, we hope that you feel better in the very near future, my friend. Big up to you, though. So, listen, the international break is a dud, yeah? It's an absolute dud. But is there anything that when you watch the teams play that have your international players, like you're a club, and you watch your internationals playing for France, you watch them playing for England, and this morning with the Waffle Down, I highlighted my gripes with tactical Thomas Tuchel. Well, I'm like, brother, you're playing Bukayo Saka 90 minutes. Like, have you no ears? Have you not heard from the whole world that we're saying that the boy is overplayed? And then part of me is thinking, like, man, Thomas Tuchel don't owe us anything. Tactical Tommy doesn't owe Arsenal fans a motherfucking thing. He is going to play. He has these players for a very limited time, and he has to get them in a certain type of rhythm. But even the most of positive Arsenal fans will look at when is the 16th? That's Sunday. We'll look at Sunday and they'll say Albania away. Where is that game being played? Albania, England being played. Yeah, it's actually being played in Albania. Does Saka need to start that, given the fact that Jared Bowen played 0 minutes, 0 minutes against Serbia? Right footed left winger. Like, you want to get these guys into shape, right? And because there's no guarantee. Here's the thing, right? There is no guarantee that Thomas Tuchel, you'll play Saka, then he comes back to Arsenal, and then Arteta further runs him into the damn ground, and then come April, May, when you actually need Saka to be in top form going into the World Cup, he's injured again. So it behooves you to get Jared Bowen up to par, or whoever you're next in line to play right wing for England. Big up to Vigilante Raid, AJ. Big up to you, bro. Love. All love. I know it's early for you, man. But love, man. Appreciate you. But that's something that I think Thomas Tuchel needs to look at, because that could actually bite him in the ass. Where you're like, okay, I don't want to rest him because I only get him for this amount of time, and you play him. And you and Miguel play him. And when you need him for the World Cup, he's not available because he's injured. And then because you haven't been playing him, Jared Bowen isn't up to speed. It won't be a fitness thing with Jared Bowen because he starts week in, week out at West Ham. So that was something that really annoyed me yesterday. Honestly annoyed me when he scored in the 28th minute, 90 minutes plus, and he is still on the pitch. I'm like, brother, what are we doing? Like, some rotation, please. Some rotation. I'm watching the Netherlands play today. I'm watching Timber out there playing 90 minutes at center back, and I'm nervous about that as well. Right? And I didn't always feel this way. I didn't always watch international fixtures and just watch my players' minutes. I'm out here minute watching. Yeah? Big up to African King. Hope you're good, bro. Let me know if you're about, if you want to hop on. That's calm. I don't think I've ever had you on the channel before. Love to have you on. But here's the thing. I don't think I've ever in my adult life found myself watching minutes of our players as much as I've done it this year and last year. Why is that? Why I'm so paranoid? Like, these guys are fit. They have the best nutrition, the best, the best this, the best that. So why the hell am I worried when I see Timber playing 90 minutes at center back against Poland, and I see Calafiori injured but with the Italian squad, and I see Odegaard injured but he is with the Italian squad? What the hell? Legitimate concerns, or am I just crazy? Am I panicking for no reason, or do I have the right to be concerned? Because I really think that if we were winning stuff, I wouldn't be this panicky. Part of it is I want to make sure that there are no excuses. I want to make sure that every I is dotted and every T is crossed. That way, come March, April, May, we are in position to win something else. And I'm saying something else because I'm expecting by March, April, May, we already got the Carabao in the bag. Yeah? All right, African King, my brother. Let me drop the link in the chat. I'll pin it. And this is an invite for you, and you only. And as soon as you hop on, I'll remove it. All right, brother. Yeah, I can't have it. But I'm not gonna lie, I am paranoid. When I watch our players on international duty, I get concerned. Not going to lie one bit. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Big up to the assemble. Say, question: do you think that Arsenal tactics are AI generated? When was the last time you see an Arsenal striker with chalk on him? We are using defensive tactics, i.e., condensing our defense. I don't think it's AI generated. I think it's just it's made in the image of Mikel Arteta. I really do think it's made in the image of Mikel Arteta, a man who is, a little cowardly, a man who's been scarred, a man who really doesn't know how to coach an attack. I think he's a real defensive coach. Like in the NFL, they have defensive coordinators. You think he's really good at that. But the ego in him ain't going to allow him to help, and someone is not going to help him coach the attack. What are we talking about? African King, what you telling me, bro? Big up to you.
Big up, man. Thank you for having me on. All good, all good.
What you telling me, man? How you been?
Yeah, I've been good. Obviously, my team's Chelsea. We're third in the table. I'm okay so far. It's been a rocky season. I'm gonna lie to you. The table's a bit crazy right now, so I don't really know what to think of what's gonna happen. I've been saying it anywhere I've been. Couple games, and you can go from top 4 to mid table. The outside of your club, the table is so close.
Yeah. So for the people who on my side who's never consumed your content or are not familiar with you, what was your expectation going into the season as a Chelsea fan?
Expectations was to get top 4 and or at least compete for the for the Premier League, and get trophies. I need some cups.
Trophies. You said plural.
Yeah.
Trophies.
Yeah.
Hey,
if anything, I think the perfect season for this year would have been top 4 League Cup, FA Cup. That would have been the perfect season. Because
so you're right on track. You're right on track then.
Yeah, but because the thing is, we didn't do what was necessary in the summer for me to say Premier League or Champions League, because we don't have a top 5 goalkeeper and we don't have a top 5 centre back for me to be comfortable with my defense in order to believe that we can go for the bigger ones. Because that's what you need. You need elite centre back, elite goalkeeper, elite centre mid, and then an elite attacker. We got an elite midfielder in Casado. We got an elite attacker in Cole Palmer. Centre back, goalkeeper, we don't have that. Because if the middle ain't strong enough, you ain't winning anything like a Premier League title or Champions League. Every time we've done it, it's been the back of either defense in the year where Tuchel won it, or we had just the whole spine were match winners. Check all the way to Drogba, match winners.
Yeah. You know what? I was actually shocked when Chelsea didn't go in for Donnarumma, I was actually worried, like, man, if Chelsea get this guy, because obviously you don't rate Sanchez. I don't think he's terrible. I mean, I think him and what's the other one you just loaned out? Petrovic. Is it Petrovic?
Oh no, we sold him. He sold him.
He
was better. I think he was better than Sanchez. For me personally, I would have kept him. I'd have sold Sanchez. I would have sold Jorgensen as well. But that's just me. Big Mike or Donnarumma. I think Big Mike would have suited us better because he's a better passer of the ball, but he's also an elite goalkeeper as well. So I think Mike Maignan from AC Milan would have been the one that I would have wanted to bring in, to be honest. But Donnarumma would have made sense as well, because you could see City with Donnarumma has transformed the way they are defensively because they're just more comfortable. That's what a good goalkeeper does. A good goalkeeper who's a leader does, because they make your defenders more comfortable. They make less mistakes. Most of our mistakes come from the fact that we don't trust Sanchez to do. We don't know what he's going to do. Sometimes he's going to have the perfect game. Other times he's going to pass it to Declan Rice to score. Other times he's going to make a mistake when it comes to the saves. Other times he's going to just get a red card. You never know what Sanchez is going to do.
Yeah, LFC, you damn right I'm feeling the pressure after one draw, because I was saying a 6-point lead for Man City is striking distance, bro. So that one draw has made it 4 now, and we have to go to the Etihad. So I'm counting that as an L. So a 1-point lead, Arteta with a 1-point lead. Are you mad? I don't trust no more with, but the hell with that. When I have a guest on, I'm more interested in your team than I am at mine, because I sit here and I waffle about Arsenal all day. And when I see Chelsea didn't go to Donnarumma, I was actually happy. I was like, because I rate him. I think he is. Yeah. And you said you don't trust You don't trust Sanchez. You know who else don't seem to trust him? His defense. The defenders in front of him do not look comfortable. Maresca trusts him for some reason because you loaned out Kepa to Bournemouth, then you sold your next goalkeeper to Bournemouth, and he's stuck with Sanchez. Now, is that because I've won 2 trophies with this guy, so I can't drop him?
No, I just because we were looking at goalkeepers in the summer. As I said, we were 5 million off from Mike Maignan. I think it's more of a sporting director issue than a manager issue. I think because, put it this way, we don't have like the olden days where it's like the coach decides what players come in, etc. We have a group of sporting directors that decide who comes through. And another issue we had is that our goalkeeping coach, pretty much his love child was Sanchez. His name is Ben Roberts. His love child is Sanchez from his time at Brighton. So there was a bit of, I don't know, I think backstage politics to why Sanchez is still here as our number 1. Because in all honesty, as I said, he'd be a great backup, but for me, he's not a star. Like if we sold Jorgensen, had Sanchez as the backup, and then brought in a proper keeper to be the number 1, that would have made sense. 25 million for Maignan would have been a snip. That would have been a threat, a leader, a captain, a solid keeper that the defenders would trust. Half of our defenders are French anyway, so it would have been easy to integrate him because we got a bunch of Frenchmen anyway within our squad. So London to Paris ain't too far. So 1 Euro star, he's already home.
Hey.
So it would have made sense. Yeah. It would have been the perfect marriage. I think for me, it doesn't have to be the most expensive signings. For me, all you needed to do was bring in Mike Maignan and Guehi, and we would have been sorted for me. Because Guehi is a leader. He's been a leader at Palace, leader at every level of international up until the seniors. And I think he'll be a future England captain because I think he's that type of guy. So bring him in. That's your captain. Then you bring in Mike Maignan. That's another leader at the back. Right there and then and there for what maybe collectively maybe 70 million between them both, 70, 80 million between them both. But we spend money on Garniti and Gittins and on all these other brothers that are maybe good, maybe not. Sometimes good, sometimes shit. Who knows what they're gonna do? It doesn't make sense to me. So for me, I think it's been a mixture of the sporting directors letting them down, which I want them to be gone as well. Because if we have a unsuccessful season, the manager can go, the sporting directors can go, and I'd rather bring in people that are competent, that want to bring in players that are of elite level that to help us good. Because for every good player we brought in an Esteval, we've got about 2 or 3 bad ones. That's my issue.
So Chelsea had the 3rd best defense last season, though. That's pretty good for a title challenge following season, especially the best midfielder in the world and all those attacking signings you made. Yeah, but that's the thing with the signings. Who's in charge of the recruitment at Chelsea? Because somehow I get confused when I see you sell Madueke, but you sign Gittins and Garnacho. I'm not sure that seems like a side pass to me. It doesn't seem like a forward pass.
Yeah, it's with Stanley and Stewart. And also there's another guy who has connections to Man City youth team. So if you look at a lot of our signings, they're Man City youth players. So for example, Gittins, Man City youth player, Tosin, Man City youth player, Palmer, Man City youth player, Lavia, Man City youth player. So I think there's another guy. I forgot his name. Oh, what's his name? Someone in the chat knows, but like there's another guy that is a Man City youth that was a part of the Man City youth setup. And so majority of our players have either come from Brighton, Man City youth, or just under 25 players that fit this model. Yeah, Joe Shields. He's the guy that, if anything, the players that he's brought in have been, for the most part, good apart from Tosin. Because Man City youth, they're like our youth players. They're elite ballers, and sometimes they're not going to make it at their club. It just is what it is. But that's been the major thing around it. So Gittins, I understood, because he's a Man City youth product. He's young. He has the potential to grow into something special. But Garnacho was the one I was like, why do we have 2 of the same left winger? Give me an elite left winger that I can believe in, that I can trust. Because put it this way, and I was speaking to other people and other fans, and put it this way, imagine this summer you get an elite left wing, and an elite centre back, and an elite goalkeeper. The conversations around our side are completely different. You then turn from a team that is a top 4 team to a title contender just like that. And this Premier League isn't the strongest either.
It
isn't the strongest in terms of the highest level. Like in terms of how close the quality is between like 3rd and 10th, yeah, it's close that way. But on the high end, I don't trust Arsenal because your manager isn't good enough, and there's 5 years of evidence for that.
Yeah.
Liverpool are integrating so many players in, so that's always going to have a problem with, especially when it's a new manager integrating players, and they're playing the wrong formation. For me, they should play a 4-4-2 diamond because they have great central players and their wingers aren't good enough. I think Gakpo's rubbish and should be sold, and Salah's starting to go over the hill. So you go look at who your best players are. They're the central midfielders and your strikers. So go and then and then they have 2 attacking fullbacks, but they're trying to invert them when they're both with demons in terms of Kirkes and Frimpong, for example. And then City are Haaland and Inshallah. So outside, if Haaland goes down, their season goes down. So you look around and you say, wow, if we made a couple signings and we had less discipline issues, we're up there competing with just Arsenal and maybe City with Haaland. And I would have said, yeah, maybe that's something that we could do. But unfortunately, we don't have the players for it.
Yeah, I hear it. Big up to the assembly. Said BBK, would you say the Sunderland draw is a pivotal moment in our season? This Spurs game is critical now that anything else won't do. So, the assemble, the next 3 games, how we react to the next 2 games will answer this. Because if we react negatively in the next 3 games, then this would have been the catalyst to us losing the ground to City. Because I do believe if City go with Belvis in November, it's curtains. Because we're not chasing them down, man. So I think the next 3 games will dictate that. Big up to Lynch. Gifted some memberships to the channel. So if you just became a member, make sure you thank Lynch. And make sure that your gifting is on, enabled, so you can receive it. But big up to Lynch. Thank you, bro. You didn't have to do that, but appreciate you supporting the channel. But you said something there about so goalkeeper check. We both agree with that.
Yeah.
What else does Chelsea need? Because surely, the money spent, and I know that the Club World Cup and the Conference League has bought Maresca sometime, but surely Chelsea haven't won the Prem since 2017. So, say you don't win the Premier League this year, which most people say you won't, then, next season you're looking at 10 years. And, brother, I'm telling you, I remember 2014 like it was yesterday. And that was 10 years for us. So now Chelsea find themselves into Man United territory where, when 2023 came about, and that's 10 years without a league title. That's uncharted territory for Chelsea since Roman. So, like, what else do you think you need to go into the season with title winning expectations as a Chelsea fan?
Goalkeeper, centre back, and a left wing for me. And possibly a centre mid, depending on what happens with Lavia's situation, on if he ever becomes if he becomes a liability when it comes to fitness, probably another centre midfielder. But just because we can't have our 3rd best centre mid be injured all the time, so we have like good youngsters in midfield. But yeah, so probably those would be the 4 players I'd bring in. In terms of the 4 players that I would look at, goalkeeper Mike Maignan, he's 30. That's goalkeeper prime. You can have him for 2-3 years. He's going to be free in the summer. That's one. That's a check. In terms of centre backs, it doesn't have to be too expensive. You can get Guehi for free now. He's going to be free in the summer. So do whatever you need to do to get him in. Or if you want to go big boy signing, Bastoni or someone of that ilk. Centre mid, we're linked with Adam Wharton. That would be perfect. English, young, has all the attributes to be a quality midfielder, and would be great rotation piece for the likes of Enzo Fernandez, and a player that can even start ahead of Enzo Fernandez if he's not good enough as well. And then left winger, for me, top quality left winger. I think that's where you spend your, outside of centre back and goalkeeper, that's where you spend the money, and then left winger. Because next summer we have Quenda coming in, so our right wingers will be Esteval and Quenda. I think Pedro Neto gets sold in the summer, and then your left wingers are Gittins and Garnacho. For me, that's not it. So I would probably look at the Rodrigo situation and try and bring him in, or a Rafael Leao, for example, just a left winger that you can trust to get goals and assists and can beat his man on a consistent basis. And then
what wing is Pedro Neto best?
I don't know. He's not. He's for me. At his age, I think he's too inconsistent for him to be that age and not be doing if he was starting on a mid-table club, I would be like, yeah, cool. Like if he was at a Fulham, maybe even a Spurs level type player, I would say yeah, cool. But for a Premier League winning team, what he does is not enough for me. Because he's inconsistent with his crossing, inconsistent with his attacking part of the game. You don't know whether you're going to get something from him or not. There's games where he just disappears. So for me, I feel like he's better on the right-hand side than the left. But when we have Esteval, who seems to be a generational talent, we have Quenda, who's coming through as well on the right-hand side. I just think his time is up in terms of if my two younger players are better than you, then why are you here? That's what I'm saying. All the older players that aren't good enough, like him, Tosin, Chalobah. If my younger players are better than you, for example, Achimpong's better than my current older centre backs, then why do I have you around? Because if you're senior, you better be elite. You better be top 10, top 5 in your position. If you're not that, you can go. And I'd rather go with the youngsters.
Yeah. So the thing is, when Pedro Neto was open to move from Wolves, I wanted him at Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie, but the thing surrounding his name at the time was his injury record. His injured. But to be fair to him, he hasn't been injury prone at Chelsea, which I thought was a good job by Maresca, because the load that he had to carry at Wolves is one of the reasons why he was always injured. He come to Chelsea, he doesn't have to carry that load. But say everyone's fit. I know that's asking a lot, especially with Lavia, who has Derrick Rose disease. It seems like boy is made of glass. What's your strongest 11? Everybody fit.
Everybody fit. Okay, so everybody fit. Probably be a 4-2-3-1. So goalkeeper would be Sanchez, because we have no one else. Left back Cucurella. Centre back partnership would be Colwell and Fofana. Right back Reece James, and then it would be Enzo. Would it be Enzo or Lavia? You know what? I'm gonna do it if I'm playing a big 6 team. If I'm playing a team that I have to beat, it would be Lavia, Caicedo, Caicedo. I'd have João Pedro in the 10, Palmer on the right, and then who would I put on the left? It would have to be Neto on the left because there's no one else that I trust, and then Liam Delap up top.
So your strongest 11 leaves out Enzo.
Yeah, just because I think against the bigger teams, Enzo isn't as useful, because he's good against low blocks when you have to unlock a team, but against the bigger teams that are going to give you problems going defensively, I think sometimes he can be a liability in that sense. So him and Lavia would be rotation in the terms of, if I'm playing a low block Sunderland or a low block like lower level team, I would rather have Enzo, because his passing unlocks situations, and maybe coming off the bench he'd be able to unlock things if it's like 0-0 in the 70th, 60th minute and we need to unlock, let's say for example, Arsenal. But Lavia would be more defensively assured alongside Caicedo for me.
Lavia, man. The thing with Lavia, he looks every glance I get at this kid, he looks brilliant.
Yeah.
But then he sits down. Like it's not even a contact injury. He looks brilliant. Then homeboy just takes a seat.
Yeah. He just comes around when we play Liverpool.
Say again?
He just comes around when we play Liverpool. That's what seems to be available for that game. Just to let them know you should have signed me.
Oh my days! But this season, man, it's been kind of up and down for you. I see you lost to United, lost to Bayern Munich, lose to Brighton and Sunderland. But you've beaten Liverpool. You've had some good results as well. You got Barcelona coming up soon in the Champions League, and I said this on a couple of panels, and people thought I was crazy. And I actually think you are gonna thump up Barcelona. I really do. I really think Chelsea are gonna. It's not even gonna be not you're gonna wipe the floor with them like a 4-0 or something, because they probably will score because their attack is really good. But the way them men defend, right? I was watching Barcelona versus Club Brugge, and every time I looked at the TV, they had one-on-ones, And they're not going to change how they play because they're playing Chelsea. And I can see Enzo. Is Parma going to be back soon?
Yeah, he's going to be back by Burnley on the bench.
Yeah.
As well. So we're getting some players back. I think the Barcelona game out of our next 3 games is probably the easiest because they play to our strengths. Right. Running in behind with Neto and Garnacho and João Pedro, Delap. Like that's gonna be, the way Barca's high line is. That's what Chelsea love. You saw that against PSG in the Club World Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
We exploited in behind and we made their fullbacks look ordinary because they just gave us too much space to run into and we were just able to do it that way. So it's similar to the Ange situation where his high line for life is going to be the downfall for Barca. But it is what it is, if he wants to be stubborn in that way, that's foolish because everyone knows Chelsea struggle against low blocks. We struggle against the team sits back and defends against us.
Yeah, I think Barcelona. Go on.
No, I'm finished.
No, I think they've made the conscious decision that this is how we're going to play. Mm-hmm. This is how we're going to play football. The same way they played against Inter. That was a classic game of football, the semifinals versus Inter last year. But then when I see Club Brugge and these men are getting one-on-ones with one pass, splitting your entire back line wide open, and men are just watching the strikers run through. Man don't do a hip check or nothing. They just let him run through. And I'm saying, Chelsea gonna really punch these men up. And I think obviously you're Chelsea. You have 2 champs. You have heritage in this competition. How you feeling about how far you can go?
I don't think we go too far outside of maybe the round after the depends on who we get in terms of I don't think we finish top 8 in the Champions League table just because we've dropped too many points. So if we're 9th to 24, you have to play like a
playoff,
playoff. Yeah. Depending on who we get there, I think we can get past the playoff. But the round after that, I think we're out because I just think with this table format, in order for you to get to like semi-final, final, you have to be top 4. Like if you looked at all the competitions last year, the teams that made it the furthest were the ones that got top 4 in the table because they had the easiest run-ins into the final. The PSG was the outlier for that season. If anything, on another day, Liverpool get past them and Liverpool probably make it all the way to the final because the other 3 teams in the semi-final were, I think, 1st, 2nd, and 4th in the actual table standings. So if you're top 4 in the table, you're more likely to make it all the way to the final. It's going to be a longer task for someone like us, which we have the history behind us to do it, but we don't have the players. Like as I said, the first time we had leaders. Cech, Drogba, Lampard. We had men. The second time, we had one of the best defenses ever. Rudiger, Christensen, Kante, and Jorginho ahead of them. Pretty much, Jorginho would keep the ball. Kante would take it back. It was free at the back as well. Reece James and Ben Chilwell in some of their best form. I've seen them at my club. They were 2 of the best wing backs in the world at that time. And then the free defense, the goalkeeper didn't really have to do much. And Edouard Mendy was on freakish form. Period. For like an 8-month period, he became a top 5 keeper for some reason.
You know what? I think that form that Mendy went on, people all of a sudden, I think that was the turning point where people started to be like, "Oh, Kepa was the problem," because I don't think Kepa was a shit keeper, but the fact that Mendy came in and was on some Superman type stuff. But then he fell off a cliff. That he ended up in Saudi. Yeah, he went to Saudi after. Yeah. But speaking of Conte, did you see Conte's performance for France the other day? Bro, he still got it.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever leave him. I just think he just doesn't have probably the legs to do Premier League anymore. How tense. But one-off games in cup competition or in internationals, he can still go. He can still go with the best. And speaking of the second Champions League, I think the biggest thing about that time period that people don't understand is because of the government situation taking our club and stuff, we lost 2 of our best defenders for free. Rudiger to Madrid, Christensen to Barcelona for free. So that kind of messed us up for years, because the thing that got us the Champions League was gone in an instant because of that situation, and we're still kind of recovering from that.
You kept the most important one though.
Yeah, we did.
And Thiago Silva stayed till what, 2020, 23? Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the guy that you haven't really replaced, man, because he was.
He's cold.
Yeah,
if he was in the team, title, a couple years younger than him in this team, it would have been great.
Yeah, but speaking of Conte, right? I usually ask the Chelsea fans this when I ask them. If I, the game where people talk about start, bench, sell. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you 3 names, right? Same scenario, yeah. So Conte, Claude, Essien.
Conte, Claude, Essien. Unfortunately, Essien will get sold. He's just against two greats. It just gets 2 greats. I'm old school though. I'm benching Kante and I'm starting Claude, man. I can't go against the guy that pretty much made the DM position.
Yeah.
I think Madrid selling him is probably the biggest mistake they made in the Galacticos era. Because if they kept him, I think they would have won a lot more over that period when they had the likes of Ronaldo, Figo, and them, man. Because he was the DM. He was the patroller. He was the man that said, "Listen, you shall not pass," and no one ever did.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give you another 3. Same concept. Hazard, Lampard, Drogba.
Oh my, that's a difficult one. Hazard, Lampard, Drogba. Oh. I'm sorry, Lamps. I'm selling you. The other 2 are just. I don't.
Selling lamps,
Selling lamps. Damn. You know what? I'm benching Hazard and I'm starting Drogba. Drogba was too clutch in the cup finals for me not to.
Big game player. Big game player.
Yeah, he's one of a kind striker, because he wasn't consistent in goals in the Premier League, but he pretty much terrorized defenders for years. And I think statistics don't show that of the fear that people had when Drogba was around.
Yeah. Thiago Silva, John Terry, Ricky Cavallo.
Oh. Ricardo Carvalho is underrated for his time. There's a lot of disrespect on his name, because before he even came to our club, he was a Champions League winner before, so he was cold. But unfortunately, you're putting him up against 2 great centre backs, so he has to get sold. I was saying sell Terry. The thing is, if it was based on off the pitch things, then I would have sold Terry straight away. But on the pitch, he was the guy. But saying that, actually, you know what? Yeah, bench Terry, start Thiago. I think Thiago, for me, was a top centre back. And the thing about it is with him is that people disrespect him because he went to Milan. He's at Milan and PSG. I think if he left PSG earlier and came to the Premier League earlier, I think he would have got more respect, because the fact that the thing is, at the same ages that he's doing what he's doing in the Premier League, Terry wasn't that guy. The longevity of Thiago Silva is crazy to me, to be at those type of ages, 38, 37, 38. Yeah, man. Thiago is just different. He's just different, man. He's just different quality to the for me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Terry and Carvalho. But
that the defensive record, man, 15 goals a season. It's never.
I'm looking at the longevity of, like, for me. I feel like if it's just based on the time at the club, if it's based on the time of the club, the order is different. But if it's the player itself, man, Thiago over there. If anything, actually, what am I doing? No, I'm selling Terry, benching Carvalho, starting Silva.
No, very because you have a lot of legends to choose from from 05 until 2025. It's one of them ones. But I usually big up to Sabi Pinky. Hope you're good, baby girl. So bro, like normally I like to get honest perspective from people who don't support Arsenal from outside looking in at the club. I look at Chelsea. I don't speak much on Chelsea because I don't get a lot of Chelsea fans in the chat, except for when Chelsea beat Liverpool, they popped up then. But then I don't really see them at still. But from a Chelsea fan looking across town, man, and you look at Arsenal, like, what was your honest assessment of the team? Do you think this is the how much the squad is hyped up as being the best squad in Europe, the deepest squad, and do you think they have enough to actually get it done this year?
Yes, I do. In terms of players, outside of maybe a left winger, I think probably a left winger is probably the only thing that you would need. I think everything else that you have at this current moment is more than enough to win a league or a Champions League. But I don't think the players are the issue. And I think the real Arsenal fans in the chat, you yourself probably know what the issue is. It's the manager. And as I've said it many times, the proof is in the pudding. 5 years, no trophy, 3 years, second again. He's shown you that he's a specialist in failure. He's shown you that he isn't good enough to win. And he's going up against a serial winner in Pep. That's the guy who's behind him, right?
Yeah.
That's the guy who's behind him. And the fact is, the one time that that Pep was sleeping last season, you didn't turn up. Everyone before last season said this was going to be last year. Said this was going to be Arsenal's year. City don't look the same, etc., etc. Liverpool come out of nowhere and do it. This year, you're top of the table, but City aren't asleep no more.
Yeah,
Pepper's arisen. He's realized the error of his ways, and he said, "You know what? Feed the beast, feed the Haaland," and that's what all they're doing. They're feeding the Haaland, and Haaland's getting fed, and it's gonna be a long season for your team, because the problem I have with the manager is I watch him and I say he's too defensive at times for his own good. Sometimes he just needs to take off the handbrake and go for it in certain games, just like the weekend example. There is no scenario where one sub in a game makes sense. There is no scenario where only one sub in a game makes sense. You have to freshen up the players. The one thing Arsenal fans talk about season on and season in is injuries. Well, if you keep playing these players 90 minutes against Sunderland, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? They're going to get injured again because you're overplaying them. And you have players on the bench that are good enough to come on and do something. Miles Lewis-Skelly ripped up Atletico Madrid, one of the teams that have historically been looked at a defensive juggernaut. He ran through that midfield like clean on, like, one of the greatest runs I've ever seen in recent history, and a great assist for that goal as well. Put him on. Whenever he's good enough, put him on. You had players on the bench that could come on and at least, add a bit of a spark, add a bit of a presence to maybe get you that second goal and kind of, or get you another goal and end the game completely and cut them out and not have them come back, and you go ahead with a 6-point gap instead of a 4-point gap, and then you're in this break not worrying about City. You're just worrying about how many more points you can add on, and you're not worrying about certain situations, because for me, the squad is good enough to win I don't know a quadruple, but it's good enough to win a treble for me. Your defense is one of the best I've seen in recent memory. Your centre-back partnership is next to none. It's probably one of the best in Europe for me. Fullbacks here or there. Timber, I would say, is one of the better right backs. The only person I could in the Premier League that can chat to him is probably Reece James. Left back, that's probably a place that you may need to. Left side is a bit, is something that you may need to look in. But Lewis-Skelly at left back for me is more than capable enough of holding out in that position. So you have three players in your defense that are elite. You have an elite goalkeeper. Your midfield is great. Declan Rice, Zubimendi. If you want to go attacking, you have Odegaard and Eze. So you have the players to do that. Right wing, Saka, quality. And you have Gyökeres up front. Left wing, bring in the left wing, and you're pretty much sorted with your 11, and you have enough good quality depth, especially in defense. So
Yeah.
and everyone knows attackers win you games, defense win you championships, and you got the defense to do that. You rarely concede. What, the Sunderland, the only game you conceded 2 goals, I think. So for me, I think going forward, it's the only thing stopping you is your manager. That's the only thing stopping you.
Yeah, man. The thing is, I think he lets this the defense thing get to his head where he relies on it too much. Because if you have a defense like this that is as good as most people say it is, and most people rate the defense fair.
Yeah.
But I think he relies on it too much, and like he wants to flex it. I'm like, no, bro, you're supposed to. If I'm of the opinion that if any other manager have this kind of defense, they would use it as a license to go attack teams. Because okay, I know I scored 2 goals, I'm winning the game, right? Your 05-06 Chelsea score 1 goal, you are winning the game. You know what I mean? So, but I think he when he takes off Eze and brings out Mascara and invite pressure on, it doesn't matter. Accuracy by volume. That man keep pumping balls into the box. One of them, someone is going to switch off. When you're tired, it doesn't matter. When you've been running around for 96 minutes, you switch off for 1 second. And the thing is this: the Sunderland manager made 4 subs, all attacking subs. Every single one of them were attacking subs. So 4 fresh attacking legs on the pitch, and I just don't trust him, man. He hasn't showed me anything to make me trust him. Like you're on the panel tonight, so I can say I've seen Chelsea sack an actual club legend in Frank Lampard mid-season, hire a manager who with experience and go on to win the Champions League the very same season. So when I see Arteta get the protection that he gets and the backing and the defense that he gets from people who are saying that he's the next best thing or the next big thing, I'm like, I just don't see it. I have to see it first. And I kind of like when I get the perspective from outsiders and rivals, people who don't support Arsenal. You don't have a dog in this fight because the assessment tend to be more honest. You don't have an emotional attachment to the club. Most of these men are emotionally attached to him. So they want to see us win, but they want to see us win with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I always ask the question, I really think that when he does go, and he will go, will they give the same manager the same type of backing that they give Arteta? Because goddamn, I don't know, man. LFC Monster says it's the recruitment too. Got it too many times, but a lot of pointless signings. Could have gone for Leao for less combined fee of Gittins and Garnacho, for example. How old is Gittins? Is he like 22?
21, 22. Yeah, 20. All of the players we sign are under 25, to be honest. But actually, going back to your point as well, there is one other thing I would say that holds back Arsenal at times, and it's probably the thing that holds back us too. It's recruitment at the right time. Right. For example, let's say, January, the race is still close between you and City. I could see City going into January and bringing in players to maybe bolster their team if they, let's say, for example, had an injury here or there, or had a need for something, or felt like if Pep felt like, oh, I need this, they'll go into January and get it done. Because last January they brought in Mamouche and a few other players, and they brought a couple signings earlier than they would have, in order for them to get top 4, in order for this season to happen, and them to still be in the top European competition and being a team that can attract good players. Arsenal, for example, I can't trust them to go to January and bring in that left winger, or bring in that extra midfielder, or the extra pieces needed for you to make that final push. Because if, let's say, for example, January, Rodrigo is frustrated as hell at Real Madrid. There's a lot of rumors around him. If I'm Arsenal, bring him in, play him left wing. He wants to play left wing. He'll start for you. He adds an extra dimension to your side straight away, straight into the first 11. Your first 11 will be complete, and then it will add it'll add an extra kind of boost to the team because one, they'll be like, oh my, wow, our club is moving serious. They brought in one of the best wingers in the world. You know, our club wants to win this title. Let's go, let's go. You know, that's what a good signing can do to a club, especially if it's a quality player. And then the second thing is, in terms of the manager, the other thing he needs to do is he needs to take this League Cup seriously. He needs to win it. Because if you look at every top manager, the first trophy they win is the League Cup. Because especially when it comes to Pep and Jose, they knew the importance of the League Cups because that provides the winning mentality. Once you get that feeling of winning that trophy as a team, as a squad, and the current group of players win that League Cup, they're like, you know what, I like this. I want more of this, but I want it to be bigger and better. I want to be able to have a parade at the end of the season. I want to be able to cheer in May before the World Cup. I want to be happy. I want to be able to go to the French camp, to the English camp, to all these other camps with my medals on and laugh at them like they've been laughing at me at me over the years.
Yeah.
So I think those are the two things as well that will hold back Arsenal as well. The immediacy of your ownership and your sporting director. Berta needs to get a left winger in January, and Arteta needs to take this League Cup seriously because that can platform you to have an even better season and win the league and win a Champions League and do things that are unprecedented when it comes to him and the club.
You made a great point there when you talk about City in January. Should it be close or be thereabouts? Because I remember last year, City brought back Ilkay Gundogan from Barcelona. Remember, they brought him back, and then immediately we're like, "Oh shit, this is not it. We made a mistake." But instead of riding out the season, like you said, in January they tried. They tried. They saw that they've made a mistake and be like, "Okay, we need to fix this. We need to autocorrect." And essentially, what they went on and did was they signed Nico Gonzalez, was it Marmoush, and Kushmanov, right? They tried, and essentially what they did was, those guys had a preseason in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
In playing real Premier League minutes against Premier League teams. And this year, all of a sudden, Nico Gonzalez as a lone six sometimes look like, sometimes I'm watching, I'm like, God damn, is Rodri out there? Looks like a boss. You know, so yeah, City, that's the difference between us and them, right? And I see it. And then another example is, even if we play out of our skin, player for player, coach for coach, them man still have the know-how, right? They've done it. They've actually done it. And I just, if it comes down to a shootout between Pep and Arteta, there's only one winner there. You know, big up to Aaron for the raid, man. Aaron was still live. He did a 4-hour show. Right. You've done a 4-hour show. Yeah, I've never streamed that long, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, I've done more. I've done longer hours, but that's when you're watching sports and you're talking to the people. It's fun.
Yeah. I got the Knicks game on in the background still. I've been, we're up by 10 because I can't lose to these Miami Heat. You know, these men are shit. I hate them passionately. The Assemble said, in reality, Blunderman is what he called Arteta. No, he's not. But the Arteta ends are, no, he's not. But they're gaslighting the Arteta outs by saying they're negative. What's more negative than backing something that isn't working and calling it positive? So, and that's the thing. What I'm saying, it's like the toxic positivity. They're enablers, bro. They're like enablers. It's like you're giving your addicted cousin money to go buy more heroin, and talk about you're helping him because he or she is crying. Oh, you're being an enabler at this point. They have to stop this mess. Like I'm saying, I never seen the Chelsea fans attached to Frank Lampard this much, and he's an actual club legend. An actual legend of the club. And I'm pretty sure, I didn't know that you were doing content back then, but I'm pretty sure you weren't against the Frank sacking. Like, you wanted him sacked, right? When he got sacked.
No, he had to go at that point. Because the thing is, the first season where he didn't have money, it was good. Because he brought in the youngsters and it was cool. But the season where he has spent money, for me, I don't know, man. I just felt like, I feel like sometimes, and there were some fans that were attached to him, obviously, because he's a legend. But for me personally, I take it as player, manager. As a player, great. As a manager, you're not so great. You had a couple years at Derby. I didn't think he should have came in the first place. I think the only reason he did come to our club is because he probably was the only person that would, because we had a transfer embargo and most managers want to buy their own players in. So I feel like he should have just stayed for the season and then moved on back to where he is now, championship level, where he can grow as a manager. You see him doing in the balling out in the championship, because that's his current level. I don't think he was ever gonna be successful at my club, just because he's not, because it's just too much pressure for a young manager who's just still learning his craft. Similar with Arteta situation.
And that's the difference. And imagine him finishing 8th with no trophy. He goes, right? But that's what happened after the FA Cup year. He finished 8th with no trophy. Because I had forgotten that, and I appreciate you reminding me, because I forgot that Lampard had actually, the club. I don't know if it was Lampard, but the club had actually spent. Is that the summer when you bought like Hakeem Ziyech and Havertz and who else? I think he had spent.
That's right after you sold players like that.
Yeah. So I was like, brother, big up to Suge, big up to Suge, big up to Taron King. And the chat, hit the like and subscribe. Dorf Adam Raid, Suge, what you be doing to Aaron be borderline bullying. You have to take it easy, man. Does I agree with you? And he said that's what Arteta should have done. Big up the Trimless in the building. Man, as I respect to you, my brother. But that's when I get the oomph, man. When it becomes defend at all costs, because they're going into the season. Many people said season of no excuses. He has to get it done. But now, after one draw, the question is being re-asked. I'm saying, okay, if he doesn't win anything this season, should he go? And then I'm hearing people draw for context. I'm like, nah, it's too much context turns into an excuse again, right? There are managers who can get the context excuse, not him. You don't get context 6 years in, yeah. You don't. At some point,
but to be honest, he should have been gone already.
Yeah.
He should have been gone after the first season where he failed. The season where you were 93%, what season was that?
The first season, 22-23. Yep.
That season, gone. I would have said, gone. You can't be top of the table 93% and not win it. that tells me that you ain't a winner.
Gone. Yeah, it is. And some say that he is still feeling the effects of that because it scarred him so bad. Yeah, that we were, and that if we had won the Carabao or another trophy that season, cool. But I think that we made a critical mistake by perfect. Right, this is what this season right here was the season we should have really pulled the plug when he bottled up for the Tottenham in the 21-22
season before that as well. Yeah,
right. Because what happens now when he goes on that title charge unexpectedly, it pulled people in. A lot of people got sucked in, pause, because we're human beings in it. And then when we start the games with 19 games, 50 points, and look like we're going to run away with the league, everyone, even the negative gooners at the time, was like, hey, he's on to something here. He's doing it. And the football was good. The football was good as well. And we were 90. It was so. And then the following season, 2023-2024, was the first time Arsenal Football Club in a very long time went into a season with title-winning expectations. And that's the season we signed Declan and we did all that. And then we took the title down to the last day, which it could have gone either way. But then in that run-in, he made some critical, crucial mistakes, specifically against Villa when he brought Kai Havertz back into the midfield. And I was like, oh, shit, we lost that game and lost the title, man. And then going into the next season, then we've been blamed with injuries, and then he goes signs another player from Chelsea. And it just seems like it's the reoccurring cycle. And now we're starting to drop points, and then we drop points from winning positions with him doing a negative substitution. It just seems so familiar. They say a leopard never changes his spots. And it seems like every chance at pressure, he cracks. And that's why I don't trust him. But this season did hurt when he bottled out top four. And if we were being serious, we should have pulled the plug on him then. That way, the emotional attachment that came with that first failed title charge wouldn't have been there. But I do think we need to sack him while this squad is still good this season if he doesn't win anything, because I really think other managers throughout Europe will look at this squad and be like, I can do something with that. I can do something with this defense. I can do something with that, especially if the club offers them £15 million.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The money he's getting, any manager would go to your club. And the other thing is, this is the thing that I probably didn't go into, that is another issue with Arsenal, is it's the ownership. There shouldn't be. The thing is, when it comes to owners and it comes to those who make the decisions on a manager, there is no emotional attachment to a manager. There is, okay, is he a winner or not? Is he going to get me what I need to get or not? So what do the owners want? Do they want championships or do they just want top four? Now, that is the question that, for me, I think mostly your owners just want top four and comfortability. And as long as that manager does that, he stays. The only reason Wenger left was because that wasn't a possibility no more. So now you look at Arteta. I don't think he ever goes until he stops getting top four, which is the problem. Because then it's too late. Because if he goes season after season of not winning, and the squad becomes older, more frustrated, certain players decide to leave. You know, you have the similar symptoms you had with Arsenal last year, where players are going City, players are going Chelsea, players are going here, there, everywhere, and wanting to go elsewhere to win. You then have the situation where you start finishing 5th, 6th, 7th again, and then and only then do the owners step in and get rid of him. And then by then, it's, as you say, it's too late. Your squad's already done. Saka's been run to the ground. He ain't going to be the same player he is. He's already looking worse for wear already. The way the manager is using him. And for me, it's just like it's a two-pronged sword for Arsenal. Your ownership aren't win. Your ownership don't have the mentality to want to win, and your manager isn't a winner. So you got from instead of it being from top to bottom wanting to win, it's the other way around. It's Arsenal fans that want to win. It's Arteta fans that are delusional to think you can win. And then it's your manager and your ownership, your manager that can't win, and it's your ownership that don't care about winning. So then you have a whole heap of discourse, because then that's when you get fans going up against each other, because in the end of the day, the real problem is always going to be that the Cronkies don't care to win the titles.
Yeah. Like, if we look at it from outside looking in, like, obviously we don't get to sit in the boardrooms and hear the discussions on what KPIs he needs to hit. But if we look at it objectively, because you can always put 2 and 2 together, right? It's always going to be 4. And if you look at it, maybe you can surmise that, okay, the goal is to challenge, like you said, top 4, to challenge, to compete. And if you just happen to win while you're competing, great. But it's not the requirement, right? Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why he was so obsessed with making sure that he finished second last year, right? So he can stay, because there was a game, bro. The title was already gone. Liverpool had already clinched the title, and he played a full 11 versus Everton, I think, when we were 1-0 down, and we had to go to Paris. Played everybody while Luis Enrique rested every one of his starters in League Up. And we played everyone. And that's why in the second leg, when we went to the Parc des Princes, in the first 20 minutes, we huffed and puffed, and that was it. For the rest of the game, we didn't lay a glove on PSG because the boys had nothing. They were done, because he had to make sure that he maintained his position in the league to finish second. Because should he win the league this year, the narrative that they're going to run, the people who love him, will be, in the past four seasons, the lowest finish Mikel Arteta ever did was second. It won't be one Premier League in 6 years. They won't run that. They won't tell you the full story, because the way they speak of him now, bro, is like, you would think this man started coaching us in 2022, 23, and just immediately start challenging for titles. They forget about the finish that Trimless alluded to in the 5th place finish. They forget about the 8th place finish with no trophy. The only time they bring up the first 3 years is when they have to throw the FA Cup in there to validate, but I don't think you think in another 5 seasons Oliver Glasner is still going to be at Palace off the strength of one FA Cup.
No, because I think his contract runs out at the end of the year and he's moving on.
So if one, and he's going to go get a bigger job anyway, because he's proven that he's a very good coach.
Yeah,
but the point I'm making is that one FA Cup won't keep Glasner in a job for 5 years at Palace. So I don't know how he's living off one FA Cup so long.
Yeah, Eddie Howe is probably the one that you would probably say that's similar to Arteta, where his one Carabao Cup, he's going to get fired soon if he still has bad results from Newcastle.
But the thing with Eddie Howe is, right, they said 2019, the same year that Arteta got appointed, that very same year, Eddie Howe relegated Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Right? But Eddie Howe went to Italy, learned how to manage, came back to the Premier League, went to a final with United, lost it. Then went to another final versus Liverpool and won that. He did all that since Arteta has won the FA Cup. So Eddie Howe was humble enough to know that he needed to go learn something. And come back and actually went to 2 finals. Because I honestly believe if we were consistently getting to finals, the energy on this negative side of the fence would be different. Because you get to enough finals, you're gonna win one of them. When we beat Chelsea in the 2017 FA Cup final, brother, that Chelsea team was better than us. That was a Premier League winning side. That side had, had Diego Costa, Hazard, Willian when Willian was playing top-notch football. You were better than us, but it was a final. Anything can happen in a final, but we're not getting to finals. We're not even that. We ain't getting past the semis, bro. Arteta thinks he's a zebra when he's just a donkey who is spray-painted stripes. Darza says, every season he has hurt our progression while spending crazy money on average players and has not improved anyone and injured too many players by overplaying them. I don't know if he is guilty of this or it was Edu, but either one, if they had any part in it, the fact that after we came off that 2022-3 failed season and someone with their infinite wisdom thought to bridge the gap between us and Man City while they have Haaland was to go sign Havertz and make him the highest paid player at the club before he even kicked the ball for us. I think that was a sackable offense. And if that was the reason why Edu got fired or was forced to resign, so be it. Because I think that was some criminal shit, bro.
Yeah, thank you for the money.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse. Us buying, you Chelsea men are criminals, That's why we call Yasser the tax man. Because when the summer, when man was coming around in streams talking about run my money for nonny when they had just broke, right? And I'm like, another Chelsea, another one. But I don't know what's worse. You selling us Kai for 65 or selling Mason Mount for 60 to United. That's something I debate with the United. But either way,
the Mount
United
one's worse because he
us,
barely plays. Mount one was worse because he barely played. He's only played like 2 games or so. He's injury.
So we funded a whole lot of Chelsea transfers by paying full price for a flop. Now, this man won you a Champions League, and you couldn't wait to give him to us. That was a red flag in and of itself. Yeah. And then you sell Nani Madueke to us the day before you play a final. Fucking brother. Woo, Jesus. Yes, someone said, do you think the majority of the Arsenal fan base lack appreciation of what a football manager is supposed to do? Yep. They've been completely blinded what Arteta says because he's really good at manipulating the media. He's really good at manipulating Canton and Charles Watts and Ted Cotterhill and all these melts that sacrifice their journalistic integrity in the name of access to him. Not to the club, but access to him. Because they know if they ask him tough questions, they'll get banned from the press conference.
Can I add to that question as well?
Yeah, go on.
For me, I think it's also the age of the fan. Because if you've been around long enough and you were able to kind of see the Arsene Wenger years and his first years at the club and what he did at the club, and then even before that, if you're able to see the George Graham years and stuff like that, then you would have seen at least managers that were somewhat winners, especially Arteta initially. His first 5 years was pretty much winning. The later years of Wenger that you saw him kind of, as he got older and a bit more, dealing with the Emirates Stadium and that other stuff, that he became, what Mourinho said, a specialist in failure. But his first years, he's winning a double, he's going unbeaten, he's doing great things for the club. He's assembled one of the best teams that I ever seen. Put it this way, if it wasn't for me going to Stamford Bridge for the first game of football, I would have been an Arsenal fan. Because that, for me, that was the best team to watch at that time. So if it wasn't for me falling in love with Zola and Hasselbank, it would have been Henri Bergkamp. So people need to either, do a history of the club and look at the quality of players that were at your team and what they were winning and what they were doing and the records you were breaking at that time, rather than, recent history. Because the recent history lost, since 2004, 21 years of just failing, failing for the most part. Out of those 21 years, I think you went through a 9-year drought. You're 5 years. So 14 out of 21 years, Arsenal Football Club haven't won a trophy. That's failure. And it's Kroenke's. It's Kroenke's. It's Emirates era. Go look at what you were doing at Highbury. Go do your research.
Week on it.
And then you wouldn't trust Arteta or these owners at all.
Yeah, mad, bro. Yeah, and big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to all the silent listeners. Big up to Dazzer. Appreciate you, bro. Make sure that you are subbing to African King. He does have a channel. His name will be in the description of the video once we're done. But yeah, make sure that you're subbing to him. Chelsea fan gives you real, does sports content in general, does F1. You do F1 and boxing, yeah?
At the moment I do I try and do NFL, NBA, football. I also do the women's league, the Super League. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, women's football is better than the men's at this current state.
Here we go, people. You get one-stop shop for sports. So make sure it's the academy. So yeah, make sure that you are sub to the channel. Big up to you, bro. Big up to that. So this question from Dazzer, I think it's a great question. Said that this statement. So the league has been bang average for the past few seasons. So how many points do you think wins the Prem this season?
How many points? I don't know, because the league this year has been crazy, because there's every team outside of maybe 2 or 3 have lost 3 games. So it's going to be a low scoring season, I think, just because teams are beating teams here and there. I think maybe 85 to 90 points is probably going to get you the league title, because I think City's margin of error is less than yours, because they've already lost 3 games. I think 5 losses and more, you can't win the title. I think if you get, I think maybe City can get 1 more loss and be okay. Arsenal, on the other hand, Arsenal's problem are going to be draws rather than losses. I think, because last season your issue was draws.
14 of them.
I think, yeah. So because of those draws, that's 14 draws is 28 points lost. So that's how many wins? That's what? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. That's 9. That's 9 wins.
Yes. And out of those draws, I think 21 of those points were from winning positions. Just like we just dropped points on winning positions, which makes it sting even more. So yeah, man, it's spot on.
So it's going to be low this season, I think, just because of how close everyone is, and there's no the closest to a perfect team is Arsenal, but as I said, your manager isn't of the level for this team. If you swapped Pep with if you put Pep or Conte or Ancelotti or even, I don't know, maybe not Josie because he's a bit past it, but any kind of manager that has a winning mentality, a Simeone, for example, into that Arsenal team, they're landsliding in this league. This league is looking like Bundesliga. This league is looking like League On, the way Arsenal would be dominating.
Yeah,
with an elite coach, elite manager, because the defense is so good that 2 goals, just defend. 2 goals, just defend. 2, 3 goals, just defend. That's all you have to do for most of the season. For most of the season, all you have to do. First half, have the handbrake off.
Yeah.
Run through team. Second half, defend, and they ain't going to score against you and also you have the corners. The corners are pretty much like that's a goal a game at this point when it comes to corners, free kicks, and what Declan Rice is doing with those balls as well. So I'm happy the fact that you have Arteta as manager, because as a Chelsea fan, I don't want to see you succeed in anything. So in that sense, like for me to say this as a Chelsea fan, I'm being real, because I don't want you to succeed, but I'll tell you the truth. Your squad is good. You get a left winger and a manager, boy.
Be long.
Problems. My life is going to be hell for at least 4 to 5 years, because that will be an Arsenal dominant era that like none other. It'll be City like.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it in my head that if he doesn't win anything this year, we'll have a new manager going to 26, 27, because there's no way we can still claim big club status, and with the money spent, in the years going by, like surely, something has to give. I'm not here for it, but big up to Dazzer, and to all fans are happy. We have Arteta, brother. Sign him up, just the same way everyone is saying. Hey, sign up Ruben, keep him there, keep Ten Hag, keep all them, man. It was long, but bro, big up, man. What you got coming up, man? Let the people know what you got coming up. They can find over at African King Academy.
Over the weekend, I'm going to do some WSL games. I'm also going to be on Vigilante's channel, Vigilante Talk Sports, to do some rugby as well. So I'm going to be on his channel doing rugby, because he does rugby. I like joining on his show. And yeah, that's really it. NBA, NFL as well over the weekend.
Yeah, man. Yeah, big up, man. Because I do NBA, NFL stuff as well. So I might tag you when I need some, some panelists for some NBA or
yeah,
NFL
definitely.
So, yeah,
I already
you,
do a NBA and NFL show on AN Sports, so I'm down to do more. I like American sports. My teams are the Philly team, 76ers and Eagles. So Eagles are doing their thing. 76ers last season were terrible. This season are looking okay. So we'll see. Hopefully it's a good year for my teams in all sports.
Big up, bro. Big manners and respect, people. Yeah, make sure that we are subbing to the channel. Make sure that you are subbed to African King. Man knows his stuff. Man knows his football. Man knows his sports. So big up. That's it.
Yeah, the original trust the process, 76ers.
Yeah. People don't know, People don't know.
Yeah.
Big up to you, bro. Like I always say, people, take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, we are gone.